I lost everything. My crypto obsession ruined my life. True story. Chapter 1, Dreaming Big, How I Discovered Crypto in New York. It all started on a rainy Tuesday in Manhattan. I was scrolling through my phone on the subway, half asleep, when a notification popped up. Bitcoin hits $50,000. Early investors are now millionaires. My heart raced. Millionaires? From just clicking buttons? I spent that night falling down a YouTube rabbit hole. Lambos, private jets, guys my age retiring at 25. The comments were flooded with "this changed my life into the moon." By 3 a.m., I was convinced. This was my golden ticket. No more grinding at my dead-end job. No more watching rent swallow half my paycheck. Crypto was the escape hatch. I opened my first exchange account the next morning, fingers trembling as I deposited $5,000, my entire emergency fund. The app's neon green charts pulsed like a heartbeat. This is it, I thought. The start of everything. Little did I know, I wasn't just buying Bitcoin. I was buying a nightmare. Chapter 2, The First Trade, My Early Wins and False Confidence. The moment I placed that first $5,000 buy order, my stomach twisted like I was on a roller coaster. I watched the charts like a hawk, refreshing every 30 seconds, convinced I could time the dip. Then, it happened. 3 days later, Bitcoin pumped 12%. My $5,000 turned into $5,600 overnight. I screamed into my pillow. This was real. I wasn't just some broke New Yorker anymore. I was a trader. I withdrew my initial $5,000 smart, right? And let the $600 ride. A week later, it was $900. I felt like a genius. My co-workers started noticing. I'd smirk at my phone during lunch, ignoring their boring talk. They didn't get it. Then I discovered altcoins. Some random token called $Moon had surged 1,000% in a month. The Telegram group was a frenzy of rocket emojis and were early hype. I threw in $2,000, and 2 days later, $3,400. That's when the addiction set in. I started waking up at 3 a.m. to check prices. My notes app filled with scribbled 100x gems. I ignored my girlfriend's texts, skipped drinks with friends. Why waste time when I could be making money in my sleep? I wasn't lucky. I was a goddamn prodigy. Or so I thought. Chapter 3, Addicted to Gains, Chasing the Next Big Pump. The wins weren't just money, they were dopamine grenades blowing up in my brain. That first taste of easy profit rewired me. Suddenly, everything else felt slow. My job? A waste of time. My friends? Distractions. Even sleep was just dead hours. The market could be moving without me. I upgraded from Coinbase to unregulated offshore exchanges, hunting for the next 100x shitcoin. I lurked in Telegram groups with names like Devs to Dump LOL, places where DYOR really meant trust the anonymous guy shilling this coin with a Wojak meme. My biggest score? A meme coin called YOLO. I threw $1,500 in as a joke. Woke up to $14,000. I screenshot the balance, zoomed in on the number, and set it as my lock screen. Proof I was different. Not some wage slave NPC. A wolf. Then the rituals started, checking my portfolio before brushing my teeth, skipping showers during critical market hours, telling my boss I had food poisoning to day trade. My girlfriend left. "You're not even here anymore," she said. I barely noticed. Her exit meant more margin for the next play. The losses? They happened. A rug pull here, a minus 40% dump there. But I'd just double down, convinced the next trade would fix everything. Gamblers don't see the trap when they're winning. Neither did I. Chapter 4, Betting IDL, Maxing Out My Savings. By month 3, my original $5,000 had ballooned to $68,000, at least on paper. I'd wake up in my tiny Brooklyn apartment, check my portfolio, and feel like the king of Wall Street. My phone buzzed constantly, crypto Twitter alerts, Telegram pings, price swing notifications. The real world faded into background noise. Then came the fatal thought, if I'm this good with pocket change, imagine what I could do with real money. I liquidated my $42,000 gone in a single withdrawal. The penalty fees stung, but I shrugged it off. This'll be chump change once I 10x it, I told myself. Next, I emptied my savings account, another $23,000. Then my emergency fund. What emergencies? I was untouchable. Finally, I hit up 3 credit cards for cash advances, $15,000 more, all at 27% April. Total war chest, $148,000. I remember transferring the final lump sum, my hands shaking, not from fear, but from the high. This wasn't gambling anymore. This was a calculated masterstroke. I'd done my research. Read a 4 a.m. deep dive into a subreddit thread. The next Bitcoin halving was coming. The charts had to go up. I went all in on a hot new DeFi token. $148,000 in a single trade. For 3 glorious days, It pumped. My portfolio hit $192,000. I took a selfie with the number on my screen, grinning like a madman. This was it. The moment I'd prove everyone wrong. Then, the market turned. And I didn't sell. Chapter 5, The Crash, Watching My Portfolio Evaporate. It started with a 5% dip. Normal correction, I muttered, refreshing CoinMarketCap. My $192,000 was now $182,400. No big deal. I'd seen worse. Then 10%. Then 20%. The Telegram group exploded. Hold for God tier gains. Whales shaking out weak hands. I clenched my jaw and nodded along. Diamond hands. That's what winners did. By day 3, my portfolio was $89,000, less than my original investment. My stomach churned as I stared at the screen, the numbers flickering red like a warning siren I refused to hear. I tried to distract myself, watched a YouTube video titled "Why This Crash Is Good for Crypto." The guy in the thumbnail was smiling. That had to mean something, right? Then liquidation alerts started pinging. $62,000, $41,000, $19,500. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, just refreshed, praying for a miracle bounce. Then, at 3:17 a.m., it happened. A flash crash. My entire position, wiped out in 90 seconds. The app glitched for a moment, then reloaded. Balance, $0. I laughed. A dry, broken sound. 148 grand. Gone. And the worst part? I still wanted to buy the dip. Chapter 6, Denial, Refusing to Accept the Losses. It's just a glitch. That was my first thought when I saw the zeros. I smashed the refresh button like a lab rat hitting a dopamine lever. Once, twice, 20 times, waiting for the numbers to magically reappear. I called the exchange's support line at 4 a.m. Some exhausted tech rep and who knows where told me markets are volatile, sir, in a tone that suggested I was the 10th crying guy he'd talked to that hour. But I wasn't like those other guys. I still had proof, that screenshot of my $192,000 peak. I made it my lock screen again, as if the universe might see it and go, oh right, we owe you this. The next morning, I did the math, $42,000 from my gutted, $23,000 of evaporated savings, $15,000 in credit card debt, $68,000 of paper gains that had never been real total loss, $148,000 my brain solution? Find a bigger trade. I spent days hunched over my laptop, chasing revenge trade setups, convinced one perfect play could undo everything. I discovered leverage trading, the ability to bet 100x my remaining crumbs. This was it. The secret the pros used. I took my last $872 rent money and went 50x long on a shitcoin. For 3 glorious minutes, I was up $2,100. Then the liquidation engine ate me alive. Final balance, 87 cents, enough for a slice of dollar pizza. I still didn't sell. Chapter 7, Desperate Moves, Borrowing Money to Recover. The first lie came easy. It's just a temporary liquidity issue, I told my little sister, voice oozing fake calm. Her college fund, $8,000, hit my trading account before she could ask questions. The guilt burned for exactly 7 minutes before I convinced myself, this is how winners operate. Phase 2, the grift 1. My barber got a sob story about medical bills plus $2,500 too. My old boss received a polished LinkedIn sob story plus $5,000 3. The guy who sold me coffee every morning got hit with business opportunity bullshit plus $1,200. I became a walking Ponzi scheme, robbing Peter to pay Paul while secretly funneling everything back into one last trade. The crypto brothers on Twitter called this being unbanked. I called it financial meth. The masterstroke I discovered crypto loans. The ultimate Russian roulette. Put up my apartment deposit as collateral, borrow $15,000 USDT at 65% April. When the lender asked for proof of income, I photoshopped a Chase statement in 8 frantic minutes. The trade, went 100x leverage on a stable coin that wasn't stable, watched my screen like it was a hostage negotiation. For 11 minutes, I was up $28,000. Then the whale dump came. Liquidation price hit. The loan app auto sold my collateral, including the security deposit for the apartment I was about to lose. New net worth? $22,000 in debt, 3 angry voicemails from my landlord, 1 pending Venmo request from my sister with the memo, you owe me tuition now you pass. I sat in the dark with my laptop's glow illuminating 3 empty ramen cups, realizing I'd become the cautionary tale. Chapter 8, Rock Bottom, Losing My Apartment and Friends. The knock came at 3 a.m. I already knew what it was before I opened the door. The super's flashlight blinded me as 2 NYPD officers stood behind him, their expressions somewhere between pity and annoyance. Pack what you can carry, one cop said, checking his watch. You got 20 minutes. I stuffed my life into a gym bag, 2 pairs of jeans, my laptop worthless now that I couldn't pay for Wi-Fi, and the cold wallet with $3.42 in Dogecoin that I refused to sell on principle. The rest, my TV, my mattress, the framed photo of my family, stayed behind as casualties of war. First night homeless, I rode the L train end to end 3 times, pretending to be just another night owl. At Union Square, a teenage crypto bro recognized me from Twitter. "Yo, aren't you the diamond hands guy?" He took one look at my bag and his smirk died. Oh. Shit. The unfriending. My former coworkers crossed the street when they saw me. My gym canceled my membership after I tried showering there daily. My own mother sent a single text, "Get help or don't come home." The final trade. In a Starbucks bathroom where I now lived during daylight hours, I spotted a Wi-Fi password written on the wall. For one glorious hour, I accessed a burner Binance account with $87 still in it. I went 150x leverage on a Bitcoin micro swing. The trade hit liquidation in 11 seconds. As I flushed the toilet to cover my sobbing, a barista knocked. "Sir, you've been in there an hour." I emerged to find my charging phone stolen, along with the last $14 in my Venmo. That's when I saw my reflection in the coffee shop window, hoodie soaked in February sleet, beard growing and patchy from malnutrition, eyes bloodshot from 72 hours without sleep. The man staring back wasn't a wolf of Wall Street. He was just another stray dog in the crypto pound. Chapter 9, Hitting Pause. The moment I realized it was over. It was a rat that made me snap. Not a metaphorical one, an actual New York City subway rat, fat and gleaming, that crawled over my shoe as I slept on the J train at 4 a.m. I jerked awake with a gasp, kicking it away, only to realize, this was my life now. The train doors opened at Marcy Avenue. I stumbled out, my legs stiff from days of sitting, my nose filled with the stench of urine and metal. A homeless man sat against the wall, his cardboard sign reading, "Lost everything to crypto. Spare change for food?" I stared at him. He stared back. We both knew. I walked to the East River as the sun rose, my last $5 coffee trembling in my hands. The water was filthy, swirling with garbage, but the light hitting it almost made it look beautiful. For the first time in a year, I thought about something other than charts. I thought about the smell of my mom's cooking, something I hadn't tasted since I missed Thanksgiving for a market opportunity, my best friend's wedding which I skipped because I was about to moon, the novel I'd wanted to write before I decided trading was my real purpose. My phone buzzed, a CoinGecko alert about some new shitcoin pumping 1000%. I looked at it, then at the river, and I threw the phone in. It wasn't dramatic. No splash. No fanfare, just a small glug as the water swallowed another victim of the crypto dream. I sat there for hours, watching the barges go by, until a cop tapped me on the shoulder. "You can't sleep here, pal." I nodded. For the first time in months, I had nowhere to be. And that, somehow, felt like freedom. Chapter 10, Lessons in the Ashes, Why I'll Never Touch Crypto Again. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a Queens diner, picking at a plate of scrambled eggs I can actually afford. The TV above the counter plays a Bloomberg segment, "Crypto Market Hits New All-Time High," while some slick-haired analyst babbles about generational wealth opportunities. The waitress, a tired woman in her 60s, glances up and mutters, "Sounds like bullshit to me." I laugh so hard I choke on my coffee. Here's what $148,000 bought me. 1. A bankruptcy filing thicker than my old trading journals. 2. A 12-step program where I met a guy who mortgaged his mom's house for Luna. 3. The permanent twitch in my left eye that flares up every time I see a candlestick chart. The hard truths: no one gets rich quick, except the guys selling the dream. FOMO is just fear dressed in a Lamborghini meme. The only HODL that matters is holding on to your damn sanity. I work construction now. Actual physical labor. My hands are calloused, my back aches, and when I come home, I sleep like the dead. No midnight panic checks. No liquidations. Just 8 hours of blessed silence. Sometimes my old life whispers to me, usually when Bitcoin makes some insane pump and my phone blows up with "Dude, are you seeing this?" texts from ghosts of my past. I don't respond. Instead, I open my bank app, a normal one, FDIC insured, and look at my $1,872 savings balance. It took me 4 months to save that. No leverage. No scams. Just time and sweat. It's the most beautiful number I've ever seen. Epilogue. The diner TV changes to a weather report. Rain coming. I leave a $5 tip, enough for 2 coffees, and step outside. My phone buzzes. For a split second, my stomach lurches. It's my mom. "Dinner Sunday?" "I'm making pot roast." I text back immediately, "I'll be there." No charts. No trades. No maybes. Just yes.